Hello, history buffs, and welcome back to Town Square Tales. Today we're stepping back to the silent film era to explore the making of Coming Through, the 1925 drama starring Thomas Meighan, Lila Lee, and Wallace Beery. Directed by Edward Sutherland, this film brought Birmingham, Alabama's coal mining world to the silver screen, with filming in Brookside, Lewisburg, and the Nyota mine in Blount County. We'll also dive into the life of Jack Bethea, the Birmingham journalist whose novel Bedrock inspired the film. So grab some popcorn and let's journey to the 1920s. Let's set the scene. Coming Through, released on February 17, 1925, is a silent drama produced by Lasky-Famous Players, a major studio in early Hollywood that eventually became part of Paramount Pictures. Based on Jack Bethea's 1924 novel Bedrock, serialized in Collier's magazine, the story follows Tom Blackford, portrayed by Thomas Meighan, who works as a clerk in a large steel firm in Pittsburgh. Tom always hopes for a promotion, but is consistently overlooked. In a bold move, Tom elopes with his boss's daughter, Alice Rand, played by Lila Lee. Enraged, John Rand, Alice's father and the owner of the company, sends Tom to manage Colton, one of the company's roughest mining camps, hoping to undermine Tom and break up the marriage. As Tom tries to meet unreasonable production goals and improve the town, he faces multiple challenges. Wallace Beery's scheming assistant foreman, Joe Lawler, adds to the turmoil, creating conflict among the miners and consequently for Tom. Alice stands by her husband, and eventually the pair truly fall in love. Tom comes through his challenges. It's a story of love, betrayal, and redemption, set against the gritty backdrop of Alabama coal mines. Coming Through, filmed in late 1924, brought Hollywood to Birmingham's industrial heartland. With no film footage in existence, we'll piece together the production using historical records, the few stills that remain from the production, the vibrant context of Jack Bethea's Birmingham roots, and details about its Birmingham filming locations. Before we dive into the film, let's talk about the man behind the story, Jack Bethea. Born in Birmingham in 1892, Bethea was a local journalism powerhouse. While still a student at Phillips High School, he began reporting for the Birmingham Age Herald in 1909, starting with a column covering nearby Bessemer. By 1910, he shifted to Birmingham, covering athletics, city government, and the tragic 1911 Banner mine explosion in Jefferson County. This disaster inspired his 1912 fictionalized account in the Age Herald, exploring themes of danger, coal mining, and the convict lease system, themes that would define his novels. Bethea balanced journalism and fiction, publishing short stories in the Age Herald and later in the Birmingham Post, where he became sports editor, and in 1921 managing editor. He was also a member of the Loafers Club, Birmingham's answer to New York's Algonquin Round Table, where young writers discussed their work and published prolifically. In the 1920s, Bethea's stories appeared in Collier's and the Post. Between 1923 and 1927, Houghton Mifflin published his 8 novels, including Bedrock. Bethea's star continued to rise, and by 1927, he was editor-in-chief of the Birmingham Post. After Houghton Mifflin published Bedrock, Famous Players saw its cinematic potential, blending romance and industrial grit. The production team was determined to capture the story's authenticity by filming in Alabama's coal country. To bring the mining camp of Bedrock to life, the production team arrived in Birmingham in the fall of 1924, greeted by excited locals at the train depot. After scouting, they chose Brookside and Lewisburg in Jefferson County and the Nyota mine in Blount County. Brookside, a coal mining town since the 1880s, was ideal with its active mines and worker housing, perfect for scenes of labor disputes. Lewisburg offered similar authenticity, with scenes filmed inside the Lewisburg mine and some of the houses there, particularly the foreman's house. A scale version of a way house in Tipple was constructed at Nyota Mine near Warrior for a pivotal fight scene between Meighan and Beery. Other scenes were shot at the Longer Lodge, a private club situated along the crest of Shades Mountain. Most interiors were filmed in Long Island, but Birmingham's raw landscape gave the film its soul. The cast and crew stayed at the Tutwiler in Birmingham, though some stayed in local homes in Brookside, as commuting from Birmingham was impractical. Wallace Beery stayed in the home of Brookside couple Ida and Evan Lawler. At night, it is said that he frequented the saloons in the area. This was Edward Sutherland's first time directing, a bold move after acting in nearly 40 films, including one with Charlie Chaplin. Sutherland's performer's eye helped him draw raw emotion from his cast, whether on Birmingham's dusty mine sets or in a studio. The stars brought Bethea's story to life. Thomas Meighan, a silent film matinee idol known for Male and Female in 1919, and Why Change Your Wife in 1920 opposite Gloria Swanson, played Tom Blackburn, and Lila Lee had previously starred opposite Meighan in Male and Female and was fresh off of Blood and Sand with Rudolph Valentino. She gave Alice Rand a delicate yet fierce spirit. Wallace Beery, as the villainous Joe Lawler, was a force of nature. His knack for rough characters, honed in The Ghostbreaker in 1922 with Lee, added menace to the mining camp's tension. Of the three, Beery had the most prolific career, starring in both silent and talking pictures. He starred in such fare as The Lost World, and Beery later won an Academy Award for his performance in 1931's The Champ. He had also been married to film siren Gloria Swanson, who later cemented her place in cinematic history for Sunset Boulevard in 1950. Filming a silent movie in 1924 wasn't necessarily easy, especially in a mining community, considering that while Brookside had telephone service since 1901, the town was still in the dark as far as electricity. Famous Players' production team were forced to bring in generators to provide power. The saloon destruction scene, where Tom unleashes chaos after a drunken engineer endangers workers, was a highlight. Stunts in 1924 had little safety oversight, and filming in real mines like Newcastle added risk. For example, on December 15, 1924, about 1 mile deep in the Newcastle Coal Company mine, 3 tons of rock fell, forcing a convoy of coal cars to derail. While no one was seriously injured, some cameramen were bruised, and the party generally shaken up. It took crews several hours to clear the wreck and bring the crew back to the surface. Most of the scenes, while thrilling for bystanders to watch, were practical effects, like breaking props or staging explosions, and they were crafted by hand, not quite as dangerous as filming inside the mines. Coming Through is a window into 1920s America, especially Alabama's coal country. Jack Bethea's Bedrock, perhaps inspired by his reporting on the 1911 Banner Mine tragedy and the coal mines, brought authenticity to the film. Shooting in Brookside, Lewisburg, and the Nyota mine grounded the story in Birmingham's industrial struggles and resonated with audiences facing similar tensions. Coming Through would have been a treasure for anyone exploring early Hollywood or the early years of the coal mining district. But unfortunately, it's a lost film. And that's the story of how Coming Through brought Hollywood to the coal fields of Jefferson County in 1924. Thanks for joining me on this trip to the silent era. Have you explored Birmingham's mining history or visited places like Brookside? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep dives into Jefferson County's past. We'll see you next time at the Town Square.